right, so we're joined now by Director for the Civil Registration and Migration Policy Project Unit at the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Antonette Richards, and she's here to talk to us a little bit about something that we commonly refer to as brain drain. But Antonette has good news because she says the drain is not really draining and we're gaining. So we're going to talk about brain gain as well, which is one I've never heard before. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. So we usually talk about brain drain, which is something that I want to say we're still experiencing, no?
So, if I should start with some statistics, over the last 5 years, well, between 2017 and 2021, over 119,000 Jamaicans left the island.
Come again, between?
Between 2017 and 2021. Over 119,000 Jamaicans left.
There is no worry that, Antonette? That's a lot? Benchmarkedly speaking, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Okay. And they left for the 3 top countries that Jamaicans usually leave to, the US, Canada, and the UK. So we're not talking about persons who may have left for other islands or anything like that.
Right.
But then at the same time, we gained about 78,000 persons. About 78,000 persons came to Jamaica. Some of them were returning residents who voluntarily returned. So about 3,900 of those were that. We have some involuntary return persons who also came back. And our involuntary return persons are the persons that we Jamaicans usually call deportees.
Okay,
but we don't like to use the term deportees, so we say involuntary return migrants. It's a much better phrasing.
Yes.
And we also have persons from the Commonwealth and other countries who come to Jamaica. Now,
do we have a drill down or a further breakdown of that 119,000, which industries or areas of work they were in before they left?
Well, that's the thing about it. It doesn't give you, not all countries give you that. For Canada, we are able to give you some information. So in Canada, about 75% who left, the persons who left, they were students, and so they're going to university. There are persons who are new workers, so they would have just completed university and are now about to enter the working environment, and they chose to go overseas. There are some retirees and some persons who are regarded as homemakers. Now, roughly 11% were regarded as professionals. Now, the category of professionals we don't know because they haven't broken it down. And we know how we are as Jamaicans. We tend not to like to talk about when we're leaving. We tend to keep it as a secret. Only very few persons know. It's until people see that you don't return. They say,
well, Antonette there.
Exactly. I'm gone. Exactly. So we're not able to fully tell, but we do know persons are leaving. But as persons leave, we have to understand that migration sometimes is circular. So persons will leave, but sometimes they come back.
Right.
And they may come back for long periods, or they may come back for a short period, but then they come back and contribute. But then persons also come, and this is where the whole brain gain aspect of it comes. So sometimes we see persons leaving as a drain on the society, but we also have to appreciate that when persons leave, sometimes they leave for educational reasons, they get training, they come back, they're able to contribute more to the Jamaican society. When they go away and they work in other environments and they learn new technologies, new methods of doing things, and they return to Jamaica, it makes us better because they bring new technologies to us that propel us towards our development.
We learn from what they learned when they were away.
Exactly. And even when nationals from other countries come and they work here, Jamaicans work alongside them. And so there's also a transfer.
Exchange, yes. Love the knowledge exchange. So in 2020, we implemented the National Policy on International Migration and Development. That's where you come in.
Yes.
To advance initiatives which address our challenges with migration. And it includes strategies to tackle migration, the return, integration, and reintegration of migrants. So tell us what's been happening in that area. What are we doing to try to ensure that we don't lose anybody else, or certainly not in large numbers?
Okay. So our focus is not really to get persons to stay or to go. That's not our focus.
Gotcha.
Because we recognize that the right to move is a human right. And there's even the Global Compact on Migration to which Jamaica is a signatory, which it promotes safe, orderly, and regular migration. And Jamaica has a history of being a source country, a transit country, and a destination country for migrants.
Yes.
So it's a critical part of who we are as Jamaicans. I mean, our whole motto, out of many one people, so we are a mix, and that will never change. It will always continue to happen. But what we have to do is, and what our policy does and the programs that we're implementing does, is that it helps persons to recognize that migration is a regular part of life. You can't stop it, you can't change it, but what you do is you see how you can harness the benefits that are to be gained from migration. Benefits that go beyond remittance, because many times we see our members in the diaspora for the remittance, and while we are grateful because it aids our economy, it helps families back home, there's the knowledge transfer, there's the exposure, there are various things that we as a country gain from this migration.
If they choose to share when they go
If they
abroad.
choose to share, but then there are things that we are also doing as a country to promote that sharing.
Tell me.
So we have been working, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, on behalf of the government of Jamaica, they have been connecting with our diaspora, and they have been doing it in a number of ways. We'll all remember way back in 2004 where we started with the biannual diaspora conference.
Yes.
And we have been having persons in the diaspora participate, they contribute, they give back. We also had a diaspora mapping exercise that was undertaken with assistance from an international development partner. And what that aimed to do is to find out where members of our diaspora are, what they're doing, what their interests are. And so we, as a country, we can have an idea of what our people are up to. We have the diaspora policy that was passed earlier this year, and it is providing that governmental framework that shows how we as a country want to connect with and engage with our diaspora. And currently, we have this exciting initiative that is actually being developed. It's an online platform called a Diaspora Engagement Portal. And we hope to have it ready by next year. And what it does is it provides a space. It's a mobile app, and there will be a web page where members of the diaspora can come onto that page. They can register their interests, they can connect with each other. You'll see links to our high commissions and embassies worldwide. They'll have their list of activities, so if there are events going on.
The diaspora hub.
It will be a hub for the diaspora, so you can go on, you can see what is happening. It will also link to things that are happening locally in Jamaica. So you will learn about our Vision 2030 progress and the Sustainable Development Goals and what we're doing. There will be links. So it will provide a space for the diaspora to connect with Jamaica. Festival is going on, there will be the calendar of events. Of course, there will be a link to One Spot Media so that they can find out what is happening. So
you're hired.
Any
You're
activity they can come on, they can watch. There's the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange if they want to support any of our social intervention programs. But not only that, it will also provide information, because we don't want the diaspora to feel that we're only there to see what we can get from them, but we also want to support them.
Can we give back?
So
yeah.
You want information on how to voluntarily contribute to NHT from abroad? We'll have a link to the NHT page. Anything to do with NIS, any information you may want, information through the Social Development Commission about the communities. So if you want to do some research in the community that your family came from. So it's that kind of link. So we provide the diaspora with information so they can connect with Jamaica and they can still feel Jamaican.
How many of us, we will have it ballparkedly as the same number of Jamaicans inside Jamaica that are outside Jamaica? Do we have a handle on that number?
We don't yet, and this portal will help to do that. A lot of numbers have been bonded about over the years, about roughly the same amount, roughly twice the amount, but we have not been able to adequately check that figure. And what we hope to be able to do through this engagement portal is to get a better understanding of who is where, and also to provide critical services, because there are critical services that we provide that many of our diaspora members don't understand.
It's true.
So even if you get in conflict with the law, which sometimes happens, how can our commission, our consulates and embassies support you in another
really
country?
Important information. When is the next conference? Is it next year?
It's next year. Okay. And we're hoping to have the platform ready to be launched by the next conference.
Fantastic. That will be great. Brain gain, everybody. How can the folks who leave us go abroad and still help us to develop? And we big up the diaspora. A lot of them watching now, morning, wherever you are, who still have their hand heavily in Jamaica, education, especially during COVID.
Yes.
And the resource tools, the tablets, the contributions and so on. We know your bodies are abroad, but your hearts are home, and you're still involved in our development. And we thank you for that. And we thank you, Antonette, for being here with us this morning to update us on this policy. Where do we get more information?
There's information on the PILJ's website. You can find the policy online. There's also the diaspora policy that's online, so you can follow us for those information.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Director for the Civil Registration and Migration Policy Project Unit at the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Antonette Richards. Second edition of News in 5 is next. We're back with more on the other side of that.